Yes, welcome everyone. I am so excited to be here and to be your host for today's wellness conversation about the most incredible product and company and group and team and tribe that I've ever come in contact with. I mean, literally. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, I'm just going to say, as I get older, I just realized that being healthy is one of the most important factors of all. As I pursue my dreams and my goals, good health has become the true wealth. And as I travel abroad, so in travel regional, stateside, as a flight attendant, a regional flight attendant. So tonight I'll be your host during this healthy conversation about good nutrition and wellness. So, with that said, my name is Cece Howard, and I'm glad to be your host. So, it is my privilege. It is my privilege tonight to have not just one, but I got two co-hosts. And you're going to hear from them both. But as we get started, I want to welcome our special guest this evening. I'd like to welcome Archbishop Henry Jackson Parker Jr. And for those that do not know him, he started his secular education at North Carolina Central University, where he studied biology and chemistry with a minor interest in physics and mathematics. My head is already hurting. Now, he later studied at Massachusetts College of Optometry and then at Framingham Academy of Optometry in Framingham, Massachusetts. Now, subsequently, he practiced for some 45 years in eye care, all while being duly recognized in the religious and spiritual community, not only as pastor, but preacher and now archbishop. Now, he is a balanced lover of science and God, and he realizes that our bodies require proper nutrients and nutrition, not only to survive, but to thrive in this life that we live on earth. So this will be the subject today of nutrition and what has brought us all together today here this evening. So please help me welcome Archbishop Henry Parker to the Healthy Conversation platform. Welcome, welcome, Archbishop.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. Now, Archbishop, we have a few questions we want to ask you, okay?
Oh my. Okay.
And starting out, the first question is just why did you start using the JuicePlus product? Like tell us that, a short story of how did that even start?
Very short. You are actually the cause of that. As I met you I guess 5 years ago or more, and you introduced me to the product. And of course, being very, very health conscious, I looked at it very carefully and thoroughly enjoyed it because it was something I was looking for. I'm just one who believes that God made us in a certain fashion, and we are responsible for maintaining that way of life, the way He made us, not just spiritually, but physically and mentally as well. And of course, JuicePlus has really been instrumental in keeping that balance.
Yes, yes. And so what do you like best about these fruits and vegetables in that little convenient capsule or gummy?
Yes, completeness. Other than being convenient, it presents nutrients from vegetables, fruit, berries. It's just a complete uh, package, if you will. And I just love that.
Yes, yes. It's real convenient. So do you ever like pack them up, because with your busy schedule and pack them up in your bag or in some type of container to keep with you? Or do you just have a routine of taking them?
I have a routine. I never miss every single day. I haven't missed in the 6 years I have been taking Juice Plus. Not one day. To my knowledge now. Maybe I
Well,
have. I've never missed as far as I can remember.
well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Archbishop, I'm gonna go over here and pick on Miranda for for a few
Oh
minutes, and
boy.
I'll be right back to you.
All right.
I want to share with you one of my co-hosts. Her name is Miranda Griffin. Many of you may know. She's a mixed media artist. She was raised in Memphis, home of the blues, suede shoes, and chicken and sweet tea and music in the mighty Mississippi. So over the past 30 years, she has owned and operated a decorative art and painting business. And about 9 years ago, she suffered from multiple autoimmune disease, in addition to migraines and sinus infections and loss of muscle mass. And, this was the life for Miranda that she lived for many years. And I'll say she knows a little bit about pain and sickness and disease. And as an artist, she knew something had to change, and she decided to, take back charge of her life. And I mean, her passion is now to inform others of how simple it is to prevent and improve, and in many cases, recover. So Miranda desires, this is inspire, you all as you walk through your path of thriving, not just surviving. So let us all welcome Miranda. I like to call her Mer. Welcome, Mer.
Thanks, Cece, and thank you for giving me the privilege to be on here with Archbishop. I've had many conversations with him, and the more I get to know him, the more impressed I am of his past and his presence, but also his knowledge and his love for life. It's, I like to say I like collecting friends, and everyone on here that I know personally, you have become one of my kindred spirits, and I'm thankful to know you all and for all y'all to be a part of my life. Yes, I grew up in Memphis. Of course, it's the South. And you think about the South, I mean, my dad was the district manager for KFC growing up. So I literally lived on fried chicken, and I loved the little rolls that they had, and I loved their potatoes and gravy and all the accessories. And we had, for breakfast was cold chicken, to this day, I still like my cold chicken. But you think about, it was fried. I mean, I grew up in the South. Everything's fried. And I mean, and I love chips. I always like to say I like to get chip faced, because there's never a chip I've never met a chip I didn't like. But growing up, all these processed foods became real popular when I was young. They were just coming in to where everything was convenient. We had, a dual working family. Both my mom and dad worked. So they would buy stuff that was real easy to eat. I mean, I remember coming home, we were growing kids. And so we ate all the time because we played outside. We used all that energy. And, we weren't big fruit and vegetable eaters, and especially vegetables. I remember telling my mom, it's like, she said, you need to eat more vegetables. And I said, well, and I literally remember saying this in high school. Well, when it comes in a pill, I'll take it. And oh my gosh, it's come to bite me in the booty now. But anyway, what's interesting is, I ate all this stuff. And then, you fast forward all these years, went to college, was going through drive-throughs, and, working all the time and just eating the American diet. And then fast forward some more years, you get into some things. I remember having migraines since high school. And then I had sinus infections growing up until about 8 years ago, every season. I mean, I was going to the doctor for those sinus cocktails. And then with the migraines, I was getting those morphine shots every few months or every other month sometimes. And some of the migraines even took me to the hospital. But you learn to live with things and you accept it. So like the migraines and sinus issues, I just think well, that's just the way of life. It's just the way it's going to be. So you just get used to it, buy the over-the-counter medicine or do whatever you had to do to take care of that. And then when I started my painting business 30 years ago, over the years of just painting every day, gripping the paintbrushes and climbing scaffolds and doing all this kind of crazy stuff. I mean, it was very, it was very laborious to do all this. I loved it. But after a while, my hands started hurting. And what do? It's like, oh, it's just arthritis. We just shove it off. It's just arthritis. It's just part of life, right? Because that's all we know. And then just go forward a little bit more. It started getting a little worse and my joints started hurting and I started aching. And then I started going through menopause. Everybody loves menopause. And so not only was I going menopause, so I was, mentally like agitated all the time, night sweats and just everything that comes with it started to come into play. And then to multiply one thing to another, I started having these major, it was a weird joint pain, and I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And then shortly after that, I was diagnosed with lupus and RA. But right before that, I was going to the doctor every 3 months because I didn't know what was wrong with me. And if any of you have ever had any autoimmune issues, they're going to do tests. And for them to figure out what it is, you have to keep doing tests so that they can monitor the levels and everything. And once they figure out what that pattern is how they determine in a nutshell what you have. And of course, I had the Great American combo package of 3 different autoimmune issues, but I was diagnosed with lupus and RA on top of the fibromyalgia. And at that point, I could barely walk. My hands were curling up. And before that diagnosis, which took them almost 3 years to figure out, my hands were starting to curl up. I would literally do 1 or 2 rolls of paint on the wall and just be exhausted. I would get up in the morning. Some of you that may be old enough to remember Tim Conway, I literally looked like him scooting across the floor every morning. And it took me forever to be able to, in the mornings, to get loose. But I was in so much pain. I mean, it was the worst time of my life, not only the pain, going through menopause and the sleep. And then over a period of time, I lost most of my muscle mass. And that's why I was getting real tired all the time. And finally, an interior designer that I worked with, which is on this call, she introduced me to Suzanne. She told me about the product, but she introduced me to Suzanne. But little did she know I had been researching foods to eat to heal, because the last time I had gone to the doctor, they were wanting to put me on more medication. And I'm thinking, what is this medicine going to do to me in addition to what I already have? And I didn't want more medication. I wanted to heal because I wasn't getting better. And so I met with Suzanne, and she explained inflammation in a way to where I understood it. A 5th grader would understand it. And so she told me more about JuicePlus, and I thought, oh my gosh, this makes sense. Because I knew that if I was to eat everything I was reading about, I'd be eating 24/7. Not to mention the expense it would take to eat all the different foods that I would need. So I started taking it, wasn't expecting a miracle. I just knew my body needed it. And then over a period of time, I started feeling a little bit better, a little more energetic. And then I'd gone to a health talk that one of the doctors spoke at. And I remember someone asking a question about migraines, and it hit me. It was like, oh my gosh, I hadn't had a migraine in a few months. And then then, you know, the little bell went off in the head, ding, 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 ding. I'm like, this is amazing because I had them every month. And I'm thinking, I will forever take JuicePlus because that alone meant the world to me. That, I mean, that was just priceless to me. But anyway, I was very consistent and kept taking it. And over a period of time, I was able, now this is just my story. I can't say this for everyone, but for me, being consistent, taking it every day, I was able to get off all 8 of medications that I was on for inflammation and a couple from my menopause. And I have to say, I feel better than I have. I mean, I'm 59 years old, and all this started was when I was in my mid 40s, and I started taking JuicePlus when I was in my late 40s. And it's a life-changing event for me. And that's why I have to share with others, because I cannot not share that if you do something consistent, good things happen. And when you put good things in your body, good things happen. Just like when you put bad things in your body, bad things happen. But the key is consistency and understanding that your body can do good things, and it's awesome. And I just want to end with this. I say this a lot. It's like like a little tagline that I use, and I want you to think about these words very carefully. Every choice you make, think about that. Every choice you make is an investment in you. And you got to take care of the one you have, because you can't trade it in for a new one. So that's my story in a tiny, tiny nutshell. But I'm just forever grateful for Karen. I'm forever grateful for Suzanne and my team that has inspired me to be consistent and inspired me to stay on track. Because and just a disclaimer, because I was so inflamed, it didn't happen overnight. And I actually felt worse than I felt before I felt better, because my body was detoxing and it was so toxic. It just took a little while, but I stayed true. And I mean, literally I can jump now. and that's amazing in itself. So thank you, Cece.
And you look beautiful. I mean, you're glowing. You just to look at it, you wouldn't even think that, you know, she's had to experience and endure all of that. I always believe that whatever we go through and we're able to get through it, I mean, you had to endure it, you had to go through it, but look what a blessing it is sharing, you know, the testimony with us, and it is going to help pass that information and wisdom on others to do it now. Make that investment. What you do is helping your body right now. Thank you so much for sharing that. Well, we're moving right along, and next up we have Miss Suzanne Ethan, registered nurse. And let me just share just a little bit about Suzanne. I mean, she's the world traveler. She just inspires me so much. Suzanne has been a nurse for over 40 years. She has specialized in neonatal intensive care at Grady Memorial Hospital and Children's Emergency Room at Scottish Rite Children's Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, in 1996, while a nurse in Atlanta, Georgia, she was introduced to whole food nutrition concept through JuicePlus. So rather than trying to, you know, fix what was already broken in the pediatric emergency room, Suzanne, with her brilliant self, she left her nursing job, y'all. She left her nursing job in 1998 to pursue the wellness industry by sharing the benefits of whole food nutrition. She was like, look, I can show you better than I can tell you. So from there, this has given her the time freedom to raise her 2 daughters. And Suzanne now lives in beautiful Naples, and she enjoys traveling all over the world and sharing her story of health and hope. Let us all welcome Suzanne. Yes.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on tonight. And all of you are on here because Cece has stepped in and asked Archbishop Parker to be part of this group of our wellness industry and our wellness group, our tribe. And so thank you so much for doing this tonight to both, Archbishop and Cece and Miranda, thank you. But my story started in 1996, so it's like 28 years ago. But my husband had brought home well, I'm not married anymore, but just so you know, I used to be married, and we won't go there. It's a counseling session, Archbishop. But he brought home a box of JuicePlus, and I actually thought he'd lost his mind, because I thought 28 years ago, I didn't think you could get fruits and vegetables in a capsule. So he started feeling better in the afternoon. And I thought, well, I want our kids to have that nutrition. If he's feeling better, and it's 20 raw fruits and vegetables, and now we have 30 with the berry blend that they've added in since then. But we were vegetarians, you guys, and we still had asthma in these children, allergies, migraines, ADHD. And so, because I thought I was doing everything right, but once we started adding JuicePlus, which is just the fruits and vegetables and the grapes and berries, once we started adding JuicePlus to their diet, they came off of those medications within 4 to 6 months. And I always say, we don't make claims, because our company has done a really responsible thing and taken JuicePlus and put it into studies, into real people. So there's 48 studies out there that show it's going to help our immune system. And that's why with Miranda's rheumatoid arthritis and lupus, we can explain those things, why it's working, because it's working inside our body. So the kids were taking it. My daughter went through an eating disorder, and severe eating disorder. She was 115, like 5'5". She went down to 67 pounds, you guys. I didn't think she was going to live. But I knew by the grace of God and the nutrition that she would take with the JuicePlus, we got through it. And so that was like, 15 years ago. And then 8 years ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I thought I was doing everything right. And then that hit me and just pulled the rug out from under me. But again, I did the things I needed to do. I ate right. I drank water, nice clean water. I got enough sleep and rest. And then I added more whole food nutrition. And really, like around my house, you would find these 8x10s that said, I'm healed, I'm happy, I'm well. So really, our positive thinking helps so much. But I know by the grace of God, he was there to get me through this. And the whole food nutrition of JuicePlus. And I had the fruits, vegetables, and the berries in my body every day. And then our JuicePlus Complete, which is a protein shake that I don't have to worry about. There's no whey, WHEY, and there's no, in anything in there that could hurt me, because I know that the company has done extra steps with NSF certification to say that what's on the labels with JuicePlus has to be in that, nothing more, nothing less. So that's a huge step and responsible step of our company that they took for our benefits. So I'm just so thankful that, we are here tonight. And, I could have said 28 years ago, oh, that's good that I found out about JuicePlus, but I'm okay. I'm a vegetarian. I don't need anything extra. We're doing everything right. But no, I trusted this, and I believed what this could do, and it did. So I'm just saying, all the people that are going to listen to this, thank you for listening to this with Archbishop Parker, that you trust him, and we can trust this company after 30 years, almost 50 years total. The whole company has been in place in Memphis. So I'm thankful that you came on and you're listening to him and to us, and anything we can do to answer any questions for you, that's what we're here for. So thank you, Cece.
Thank you so much for sharing that information with us. I get inspired each and every time I hear, each of you all's testimony. It just lets me know that I am in the right place at the right time, and you all are as well. So let us go ahead and go back to Archbishop. I have a question for you, Archbishop.
Okay.
So now, you've been eating the product, because it's food. It's
Yes.
food,
Yes.
So the question I have is, why? You were taking it, it's working for you. Why did you
Mhm.
decide to join the JuicePlus business?
Well, there are several reasons for that. I'm kind of business minded. I've always done some business in some way, but the healthcare industry, period, is a great interest of mine, and I support it. I believe in it. As you say, I take it every day. You all don't know this, but I'm 81 years old. And well, I turned that around. I'm actually 18. Uh, I have no aches, no pains, no diseases except for glaucoma, and some sugar spikes every once in a while. Other than that, I've been tremendously blessed. But my health didn't really level off until I started taking Juice Plus. It's a great product, and I just want to really get into it from a business perspective, because here again, it's something I believe in. And I believe it will be a blessing, especially to the church community as well. So you will be seeing thousands of people joining. Oh, maybe not, but anyway, that's the
Yes,
basic.
keep that, that's an affirmation for you. You wanna help thousands. That's your heart. Don't take it back, but put it on out there. We're gonna touch and agree with you that you're gonna come
Okay.
across those people that are seeking, knocking, and asking, because there are people that are out there that are hurting, that are suffering, and they
Yeah.
wish they knew about this. And that's the reason we are here, because it's not, it's a movement.
Hmm.
There are just so many people that are hurting right now, and they need us to not worry about what they're going to say, but they need us to just share it. Just share it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I thank you, Archbishop, for staying after me to help you to make
Mm-hmm.
this possible so that you could share it more, from the comforts of your home, or whenever you're traveling. Now you'll have it right on your phone, and you can, like, here, watch this,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
let's see here. Wow. So this has been a great, healthy segment. Let me now check to see if anyone has any questions. Anybody has any questions or any comments that you want to make before we start to wrap it up? Or if there's any questions in the chat, Mark?
Yes. Archbishop, you once said, and it really stuck home with me on a conversation we had. Can you
Mm-hmm.
touch on real quickly, from an archbishop's perspective, God gives us food to eat, and he gives it for a reason. And you made the comment about what he gives us is so imperative for us to eat what he created versus what man created. Do you
Yes.
remember that conversation? Can you touch
Yes.
on that a little bit? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes, I'd love to. One of the things that we notice, especially in the Old Testament, you find there where God gives us a list of foods that are clean and unclean. I think we're all familiar with that, right? Uh, that wasn't his diet. That was a list of nutrients and nutritionist foods that we should eat. Um, if we now look at where we are today, if we keep to the fact that we are to take care of this great body he's given us, we'll find that much of the stuff we consume nowadays is far from what's necessary to keep us healthy and strong and keep us away from those additives and so forth that would hurt us and harm us. That's one thing that I've been a uh, I guess a real supporter of from my young time in college, and especially along the way. I did go to School of Medicine at George Washington, where we studied for a master's in biochemistry. That was so interesting to see biologically and chemically at the same time those things that make us, let's say, tick. So from a spiritual perspective, I think it's a ministry all of itself, if we look at it. And there's so much I could say about that as we traverse from the Old to the New Testament. JuicePlus, and I've investigated this product. I've looked at it from a scientific and biological perspective as well, has so many benefits. I'm a stickler for research and peer reviews and so forth. And so I've looked at it, trust me. So yes, it is a spiritual walk for me as well as a physical walk. And I think that's one of the areas I'm going to really, really push, if you will. I just love this product. I really, really do.
That's beautiful.
It is. It truly is. I tell you, that was a healthy wrap, like a, food. That's a healthy wrap right there. I tell you, and after every great meal, you want to reach out to the person that invited you to attend this live podcast, or if they're listening, if it's been sent to you and you're listening on a recording, you want to thank them. Thank them for thinking about you, and thank them for, thinking enough of themselves first to be involved, and thinking enough of you to share, this message with. And if you have any questions, go back to them and get your questions answered. Go back to them and thank them. So is that fair enough? Make sure you go back. Ask the person that invited you.
Yes.
All right. All right. So fair enough, right? And until next time, each of you, God bless and be well. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
This is where I would have some music playing.
Some bumper music.
Y'all don't want me
Thanks,
to sing.
Archbishop. Thanks, CC.
Thank you.
God
Thank you.
bless. God bless you.
God
Bless you. We'll talk soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.